Good morning, students. Let us continue with our Maths 1 online teaching session. In the previous session, we have started with the second chapter, that is real numbers. Let us continue further in this session. But before I do that, let us have a quick recap of what we have already learned in this chapter. I have given you few basic definitions like rational numbers, irrational numbers, real numbers. Okay, so let me quickly revise. Rational number is a number that can be expressed in P upon Q form, where Q is not equal to 0. Now, as you can see here, I have given you an example of 10 upon 2. Now, don't get worried if it can be reduced. It can be reduced to 5 upon 1. Is this a rational number? Yes, very well. Why? Because it is in the form of P upon Q. It's a fraction and that denominator is not equal to 0. Even if it is 1, it is a rational number. The only thing is it should not be 0. Okay? So I hope you have understood the definition. Then we have defined what are irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are those numbers which are not rational, like root 5, root 2, root 7, etc. The third point which we had learned is the decimal form of an irrational number is non-recurring and non-terminating type. Now what is the meaning of this? Then when I divide a fraction, if suppose the division doesn't come to an end, nor does the remainder repeats itself, then that is non-recurring and non-terminating. All such numbers are irrational numbers. Okay, so all this we have finished. With this knowledge, let us start with practice set 2.2. This is the first question of the practice set. See, show that 4 root 2 is an irrational number. The first thing which I want you to understand in this is to be done by indirect method. Now what is indirect method? Indirect method of proving is, we will start the sum with the assumption which is something else other than the given question. Like it is to be proved that 4 root 2 is an irrational number. My assumption will be something else, exactly the opposite of it. My assumption is, let 4 root 2 be a rational number. Yes, this method of proving is indirect. Why? Because after some steps, I will prove that this assumption of mine is incorrect. Hence, whatever was given in the question is correct. Don't be afraid, it is not difficult at all. Let's see how it can be written. First step, as I have told you, we will assume exactly the opposite of what we want to prove. We wanted to prove that it is an irrational number. So I am assuming that let the given thing, that is 4 root 2, be a rational number. Now, definition of rational number is what? Definition is, rational numbers can be expressed in form of P upon Q. So, this rational number which I have assumed just now, 4 root 2, can be written in the form of P upon Q. Okay, what are the important things to be mentioned? That P and Q are integers. Integers means that it can be plus or minus, and they should not have any common factor. Why they should not have any common factor? Because if they have, it will further get reduced. So to avoid that, it's better that this P upon Q do not have any common factor. Then after this, what is the next step? Next step is this 4 which is on the left hand side, I am going to bring it down. It is multiplied here. So when it goes to the other side, it will divide. So 4 can be shifted. What is left here is root 2 will be as it is. It will be P upon 4Q. Yes, P upon 4Q. Now see this. Try to understand. P upon Q was a rational number and I am bringing 4 down here. 4 is also a rational number. So automatically the right hand side is a rational number. Yes, right hand side is a rational number, but it is equated to root 2. So what we can write? We can write as right hand side is a rational number. It means that the left hand side is also a rational number. Here it is equated. So if right hand side is rational, left hand side is also rational. And what is written on the left hand side? Root 2. So with this what we are getting? That root 2 is a rational number. But so many different definitions and concepts we have learned that root 2 is an irrational number. So what we can write? But it contradicts the fact that root 2 is an irrational number. This is what I was telling you. that I'll assume something, and after writing few steps like this, I'm going to contradict myself. Correct? This is indirect method. So after this, we will write, since root 2 is an irrational number, it contradicts that, right? So our assumption is that, that 4 root 2 is a rational number is incorrect. Hence whatever was given, what was given, that 4 root 2 is an irrational number is right. Okay, so 4 root 2 is an irrational number is the final answer. Yes, I quickly revise all the steps for this. First step, whatever is given, assume exactly the opposite of it. So I assume that 4 root 2 is a rational number, right? After shifting few terms here and there, we will get that our assumption was incorrect. Hence 4 root 2 is an irrational number. Okay, so this type of sum you will understand better. One more example I am taking so that this concept is clear to you. That is the next question. That is question number 2. Say this now. Question number 2 is, prove that 3 plus root 5 is an irrational number. It is exactly similar to what we have done just now. The only difference is here. See, this is plus 3, 3 plus, and there it was multiplication, 4 into root 5, root 2, correct? So that is the reason, that is the only difference. Remaining all the steps, everything is same. What should be our first step if I have to do it by indirect method? I have to prove that is an irrational number. So I will start my sum that let 3 plus root 5 is a rational number as we did in the previous sum. Exactly same thing I have to write. If this is a rational number, it can be equated to P upon Q, where P and Q are integers, yes, and P and Q have no common factors. Exactly what we wrote in the previous sum, right? Difference is here. Now previous sum it was into, so I told you bring that term and divide it. Now here it was a plus sign, 3 plus. So obviously when this plus is shifted to this side, it will get subtracted. So what we will get? We will get P upon Q minus 3. Root 5 will remain there, right? So now this can be cross multiplied. Nothing is there means it is upon 1. So when I cross multiply, we get P into 1, that is P. 3 into Q, that is 3Q upon Q. This is cross multiplication, correct? So what we get? Root 5 is equal to P minus 3Q upon Q. Again, these all are rational numbers. Just have a look. P upon Q, it's assumed that it is a rational number. 3 itself is a rational number. It means after simplifying, after subtraction of two rational numbers is always a rational number. This is a property that if you are subtracting two rational numbers, whatever answer you get, this answer is a rational number, right? So same thing happens here also. Right hand side is a rational number. It means that the left hand side is also a rational number. But what is written on the left hand side? Root 5. It means that root 5 is a rational number. But again, it contradicts the fact that root 5 is an irrational number. I hope you are understanding it. See, steps are exactly same. You just have to look at the question whether it is multiplication or it is addition. Okay. So we will conclude that it contradicts the fact that root 5 is an irrational number, right? Therefore, our assumption that 3 plus root 5 is a rational number is incorrect. Hence, 3 plus root 5 is an irrational number. We have assumed that it is a rational number, right? 3 plus root 5 is a rational number is incorrect. Hence, 3 plus root 5 is an irrational number. Okay. So, these two types are exactly same type. What are the basic steps? First step, assume that it is rational. Equate it to P upon Q. Okay. Then seal LHS and RHS, compare it, and it will contradict, and then you conclude the final answer. So these are the steps to be followed for this type of question, right? Okay. Let us move to the next question. Write any three rational numbers between two numbers given below. Now first thing only I want to tell you that this type of questions can be done in n number of ways. There are many methods to do this type of question. Any method you find easy you can do. I am using one method here, right? See this. What are the two numbers that are given to us? 0.3 and minus 0.5. What I want? Three rational numbers between them. Okay. So just imagine a number line in front of you. Number line is having left hand side minus terms, right? Minus 0.5. then minus 0.4, minus 0.3, minus 0.2, minus 0.1, then comes 0, then 0.1, 0.2. Yes, so on a number line, these are the numbers. What they are asking us, they want any three rational numbers between them. So I am leaving it on you, your choice, whichever rational numbers you want to write between them. There are so many between them. I want only three. So you can take any three of them and write the final answer. I hope it is clear. See, it is negative minus 0.5. What comes after that? Minus 0.4, minus 0.3, 0.2, minus 0.1, 0, 0.1 and 0.2. So any three among this you can write. Okay, this is as easy as this. This is easy type of sums, right? And see the next question. Minus 2.3 and minus 2.33. Okay, now how to do this? First step is, I'll make both the numbers as 2-digit decimal point, right? What is the meaning of that? See, it was minus 2.3 and this is minus 2.33. After the decimal point, I can see 2 digits. So let us make this also as 2-digit by writing minus 2.30. We are not changing the question. We can write n number of zeros, right? After doing this, what we need to understand is minus 2.30 and minus 2.33. But this is easy way to understand 30 and this is 33. So in between them, can we write three rational numbers? See, 30. After this, what I will get? 31, 32 and 33 is already there. So we get only two rational numbers, right? So that is the reason, instead of making a 2-digit decimal point number, we are writing one extra zero in this again and here also. After the decimal point, I am making it as a 3-digit number. Okay, so this can be written as minus 2.300 and this also minus 2.330, right? See, comparison can be done. Try to understand, comparison can be done only when after the decimal point there are equal number of digits. Now here you can see it was 1 and it was 2. So first thing I made it as 2-digit, but there are only two numbers, we want three numbers. So what we are doing, we are writing two more zeros here and 1 0 here. Now try to understand this. This has become 300 and this is 330. Between them you write any three numbers. So I have written here minus 2.310, minus 2.315, minus 2.320. Now this is the reason I told you it can have n number of answers. You might feel that I am not going to write 310. I will write 312, 313, 317. Any number between 300 and 330 you can write and get the answer. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you, how to write rational numbers between any two numbers given. Okay, let's see the next question. The third one, 5.2 and 5.3. Both are, as you can see, after the decimal point only one digit. If I write one more 0 here and 0 here, I get a full range of 20 to 30 and I want only three numbers between them, right? So I can write 5.21, 5.22, 5.23. You feel that you don't want to write this, you can write 5.22, 24, 26, 27, any number in the range of 5.20, that is 20 to 30. I hope now this concept is clear. Yes. So this is the reason this is an open-ended question having multiple answers. You can write any numbers. I have written here these three. Okay. So next question, fourth one, minus 4.5 and minus 4.6. Exactly similar to what we did just now. Only thing is these are negative numbers. We will add 1 0 here and 1 0 here. So we get a range of 50 to 60. In between them, I will write any three numbers. So see this, I have written rational numbers between minus 4.5 and minus 4.6 are, I have written minus 4.51, minus 4.55 and minus 4.58. Other than this, if you want to write any, you can in the range of 50 to 60. Okay, don't include 50 and 60. In between them they want, so we will not include them. Other than these two, we can write any number between them. Okay, I hope this is also clear. Yes. Now see, based on whatever little thing, two types of sums we have learned today, I have prepared an assignment. Assignment means just a practice question. Okay, see this first one. show that 5 plus root 7 is an irrational number. Now just we have done one sum exactly like this in the exercise also. What are the steps? We will first assume that it is a rational number. Yes, 5 plus root 7 is a rational number. If it is a rational number, I will equate it to P upon Q. Yes, then what? Leave this root 7 here and shift this 5 on this side. It will get subtracted. So what will come? Root 7 is equal to P upon Q minus 5 as we did. I hope now you have understood it and you can write the remaining steps. Yes, exactly similar. Next question also, what we did just now, to find three rational numbers between the two given numbers. See what I have given, 3.4 and 3.5. You can very well make it as 3.40 and this as 3.50. So you get a range of 40 to 50. In between them, you can write any three rational numbers. Okay, as per your choice. So I hope you understood whatever we did today. We have done two types of sums where we have to prove that it is an irrational number and where you have to find three rational numbers between any two given numbers. So I hope you have understood all. Okay, we will continue with the remaining part of the lesson in the next session. Okay, thank you.